12 Most Mysterious Ancient Tombs, recently discovered by experts that shocked the world. Hello, and welcome to the latest video on the Ancient History channel. Did you know that there are places beneath the ground where even mentioning them is enough to send chills down your spine? It's not because of the darkness or the cold, but because of the secrets that have lain silent for hundreds, even thousands of years, waiting for the day they are brought back into the light. In recent years, archaeologists around the world have continuously announced discoveries that have shocked the global community. Strange ancient tombs where death is not simply an ending, but the beginning of countless unanswered questions. Some tombs contain human remains buried in unusual positions, while others reveal dozens of coffins still completely sealed. There are even tombs so disturbing and difficult to explain that they have sparked intense debate within the scientific community. Each of these discoveries brings with it dark stories of sacrificial rituals, ancient beliefs, or curses passed down through generations. And perhaps the most unsettling realization of all is that the deeper we dig, the more we come to understand just how little we truly know about the past. In this video, we will journey together through doors of time long buried beneath the earth to explore 12 of the most mysterious and terrifying ancient tombs recently discovered by archaeologists. What lies beneath the soil is not just bones, but fragments of history that have left the world in stunned silence. Are you ready? If you are, let's begin our first discovery right now. The ancient tomb, containing the remains of women, buried without clothing. In the vast and desolate grasslands of Inner Mongolia, where modern highways are reshaping China's map of development, a secret buried for thousands of years unexpectedly came to light. In 2018, during the construction of a roadway in the city of Baotou, Inner Mongolia, China, construction workers accidentally uncovered a strange structure deep underground. At first, they assumed it was merely the remains of an old building. However, when ancient bricks began to emerge, they immediately reported the discovery to the authorities. No one could have imagined that this structure was actually a gateway into a world of history, tragedy, power, and questions that had gone unanswered for centuries. Archaeological experts quickly arrived at the site and began a meticulous investigation. They soon confirmed that it was an ancient tomb dating back to the Tang dynasty, a period renowned for its cultural and military achievements, as well as the splendor of imperial power in ancient China. The officially approved excavation lasted 6 days, and when the final layers of soil were cleared away, the archaeologists could hardly believe what they saw. Before them stood a large coffin placed solemnly at the center of the tomb. Surrounding it were 4 sets of human remains, all housed within a solid tomb structure that had been preserved almost intact. A preliminary examination revealed that the remains inside the coffin belonged to a man, while the 4 others were women. What was both strange and deeply controversial was that 2 of the 4 women had been buried without any clothing, an extremely unusual practice that ran completely counter to traditional burial customs of that era. So who were they? Why were they treated this way in death? And what truly happened more than 1,300 years ago? Seeking answers, the experts began analyzing the burial artifacts, paying particular attention to a stone epitaph placed inside the tomb. It was here that the identity of the man in the coffin was finally revealed. He was Qin Fen, who had once served as the northern capital commandant of the Anbai Protectorate during the reign of Emperor Guangzhou of the Tang dynasty. His life story gradually came into focus. Born into poverty, Qin Fen was the eldest of 6 brothers. Through sheer determination and ambition, he entered a military career. From an anonymous foot soldier on the battlefield, he distinguished himself through numerous military achievements, survived countless brutal conflicts, and ultimately rose to the highest local military rank. He became a symbol of resilience, decisiveness, and extraordinary perseverance during a turbulent era. Yet what truly unsettles later generations is not only how he lived, but how he chose to die. According to the epitaph, Qin Fen died in the year 698. Before his death, he instructed his son, Qin Huan, to carry out a ritual of human sacrifice, ordering that 4 of his concubines be buried with him, along with gold, silver, ceramics, and many other valuable possessions. The feudal belief in absolute loyalty between husband and wife, combined with the authority of imperial power, gave rise to a ritual that was cruel by modern standards, yet considered honorable at the time. However, the epitaph does not explain why 2 of the concubines were buried without clothing. This glaring omission has left experts perplexed and has sparked countless theories. Were they forced to endure some form of punishment? Or were they part of a mysterious ancient ritual that history has long forgotten? The artifacts discovered around the tomb, from white-glazed ceramics and jade beads to exquisitely crafted burial goods, paint a picture of wealth and noble status. Yet it is precisely the absence of clothing on the bodies that casts a haunting shadow over the entire mystery. On one hand, this detail may reflect moral decline or the harsh realities of the feudal system. On the other, it could be evidence of complex and little-known burial regulations during the Tang dynasty. Though more than a millennium has passed, the tomb of Qin Fen, a man once regarded as a symbol of loyalty to the throne and military brilliance, has opened a doorway into a world where every bone, every carving, and every buried secret embodies both the golden age and the darkness of an era. Have the souls within this tomb truly found peace? Or do they still have something to say to future generations beneath the cold earth of Baotou? The answer perhaps is still out there, waiting for us to uncover it. The secret tomb, containing 12 human skeletons in the ancient city of Petra, Jordan. Petra, the ancient city located in Ma'an Governorate, Jordan, is one of the world's most famous archaeological destinations and holds immense historical significance. Petra was once the capital of the Nabatean Kingdom, a powerful regional civilization that existed from the 4th century BCE to the 2nd century CE. The city is renowned for its extraordinary architecture, carved directly into rose-colored sandstone cliffs, creating an atmosphere that is both mysterious and timeless. Among Petra's many remarkable structures, the treasury, also known as Al-Khazna, stands out as an unmissable highlight. This elaborately constructed monument was long believed by the Bedouin, descendants of the Nabatean people, to be a place where gold and treasures belonging to the Egyptian pharaohs were hidden. The history and legends surrounding the treasury have drawn millions of visitors each year. Recently, however, a major archaeological discovery has raised new questions about Petra's past. Archaeologists led by Dr. Pierce Paul Kriesman, executive director of the American Center of Research, conducted excavations beneath the floor of the treasury and uncovered a tomb containing at least 12 human skeletons, along with valuable artifacts dating back approximately 2,000 years. This discovery followed many years of research and investigation. In 2003, archaeologists found 2 tombs beneath the left side of the treasury. Subsequent studies, however, indicated that these underground chambers were not the only ones present. With the help of ground-penetrating radar technology, Dr. Kriesman and his research team detected physical features beneath the ground on the right side of the treasury, suggesting the presence of a larger area that could contain additional tombs. An excavation was then carried out in August 2024, resulting in the discovery of a tomb containing remarkably well-preserved human remains. What makes this find particularly surprising is that many previously discovered tombs at Petra were either empty or heavily disturbed, while this tomb contained intact skeletons along with burial goods made of bronze, iron, and ceramic. According to Dr. Kriesman, this is an exceptionally rare and valuable discovery that offers profound insight into the lives and customs of the Nabatean people, an ancient nomadic civilization. The skeletons were generally well preserved, although some showed signs of mold damage caused by Petra's humidity and seasonal flooding. Notably, one of the skeletons was found holding a ceramic cup shaped similarly to the Holy Grail, further deepening the mystery surrounding the discovery. This find is especially significant not only for its archaeological value, but also because it may serve as a key to unlocking long-standing mysteries about the Nabateans, particularly their burial practices. Despite being a society with a rich and distinctive culture, much about the Nabateans remains unclear, especially regarding social equality in their burial traditions. Previously discovered tombs suggest a striking uniformity between royal and common burials, making it difficult for researchers to determine whether the tomb beneath the treasury belonged to royalty. Petra is not only one of the new 7 wonders of the world, but also a place filled with unresolved mysteries and untold stories. Perhaps these new discoveries will continue to reinforce Petra's importance in historical and archaeological research. As you can see, the true wonder of this ancient city lies not only in its architectural beauty, but also in the hidden stories that scholars are gradually bringing to light. 2,100-year-old bronze tomb. burying a mysterious woman that stunned archaeologists. Hidden beneath what appeared to be lifeless soil near the city of Kozani in northern Greece, an archaeological discovery has sent chills down many spines with curiosity. During a routine excavation, experts from the Kozani Archaeological Service unexpectedly uncovered an ancient burial complex with a strange layout, unlike any tombs previously known. At the center of this discovery was a single grave, the final resting place of a woman who lived approximately 2,100 years ago. At first glance, the tomb did not appear particularly grand. However, the deeper archaeologists investigated, the more they realized they were facing an extraordinary and unusual story. The most shocking detail was the woman's remains themselves. Instead of being placed in a stone coffin or buried directly in the ground, her body was laid upon a bed. That alone would seem unusual to many, but the truth was even more astonishing. Through careful examination and analysis, the bed was identified as being made entirely of bronze, a precious and rare material in ancient times. More than a functional object, the bed was exquisitely crafted, bearing strong artistic and religious significance. Carved into the bed was the image of a nymph, a figure closely associated with Greek mythology. Notably, the nymph was depicted wearing a laurel wreath, an honor traditionally reserved for victors, heroes, or individuals of high social status. Adding to the mystery, one of the bed's horizontal panels depicted a haunting scene, a giant bird gripping a snake in its beak. This imagery has puzzled many experts. In ancient symbolism, birds often represented the sky, the divine, or the soul, while snakes were commonly associated with rebirth, power, and death. The appearance of these two symbols together on a burial bed may convey a profound spiritual message or reflect the unique beliefs held by the woman during her lifetime. Over time, the wooden components of the bed completely decayed, leaving behind only the durable bronze frame and decorative elements, which survived more than 2 millennia. What further astonished archaeologists was the discovery of several fine gold threads in the woman's hand, threads typically used in high-end embroidery. This small yet significant detail opened the door to a major hypothesis. The woman may have been closely associated with skilled craftsmanship, or more simply, she may have belonged to a wealthy social class where gold was not a luxury. Surrounding the tomb were 4 clay vessels and 1 glass container, carefully placed near the remains. These burial goods indicate that the funeral ritual was meticulously planned and deliberately carried out. Notably, the tomb contained only 1 individual. There were no accompanying remains, no relatives buried alongside her, as if the space had been reserved exclusively for her, completely separate from the outside world. At present, archaeologists continue to analyze the skeleton to determine her exact age at death, her health during life, and the cause of her death. Although no final conclusions have been reached, the artifacts discovered so far strongly suggest that this was no ordinary woman. She may have come from a wealthy family, or even had connections to the aristocracy or royalty of the time. So what do you think warranted such an elaborate burial on a finely crafted bronze bed? Was it status, power, or a secret that history has deliberately kept hidden? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. 2,300-year-old ancient tomb containing burned human remains that shocked experts. Hidden beneath the ground of modern-day Istanbul, Turkey, a historical secret lay undisturbed for more than 2,300 years, until archaeologists recently made a rare and astonishing discovery. The unearthing of this ancient tomb has sent shockwaves through the academic community and captivated history enthusiasts around the world. What makes this discovery extraordinary is not only its age, but also the unusual manner in which the remains inside the tomb were buried, a funerary practice so rare that it has scarcely ever been documented in this region before. The deceased was not merely buried, but was burned within the tomb itself, creating a mysterious and highly unusual combination of burial and cremation rituals. So what exactly happened here thousands of years ago, in what was once a major center of ancient civilization? And who was the individual laid to rest in this remarkable tomb? To answer these questions, experts conducted a series of in-depth studies, not only excavating the site, but also cross-referencing ancient texts, geographical maps, and historical records. Their findings led them to an ancient name, Chalcedon, a once prosperous city during the Hellenistic period, roughly spanning from 323 BCE to 33 BCE. Chalcedon is no stranger to historians. The city was a strategic hub located along the Bosphorus Strait, the natural boundary separating Asia and Europe and the vital gateway to the Black Sea. Thanks to this prime location, Chalcedon and its neighboring city Byzantium, the forerunner of Constantinople and later Istanbul, once implemented a bold and powerful economic strategy. Between approximately 235 and 220 BCE, the two cities jointly established a maritime toll system, charging ships that passed through the Bosphorus. Notably, this system was not merely a local initiative. It received strong backing from an external power, the Egyptian navy, which at the time was under the control of the Ptolemaic dynasty. This Hellenistic dynasty ruled Egypt after the death of Alexander the Great and later became famous for Queen Cleopatra. Egypt's military support underscores the political and economic importance of Chalcedon at the time and highlights the complex connections between major civilizations in the region. Returning to the newly discovered tomb, in addition to the burned human remains, which alone left archaeologists stunned, experts also uncovered two notable artifacts, an unfired clay cup and a perfume bottle. These items carry not only material value, but also strong symbolic meaning. The simple clay cup may have been a personal item or a ritual offering, while the perfume bottle is commonly associated with funerary rites, an attempt to preserve fragrance and purity for the soul of the deceased. Most striking of all, the act of burning the body within the tomb itself may reflect a unique funerary belief held by the people of Chalcedon, or perhaps by an elite social class within the region. This could represent a rare religious ritual or convey a specific message related to social status, identity, or even political significance. According to Rahmi Asal, director of the Istanbul Archaeological Museums, the discoveries at this ancient tomb promise to open new pathways for understanding the burial customs and spiritual beliefs of the ancient Chalcedonians. Every detail, from the treatment of the remains to the accompanying artifacts, serves as a valuable piece in reconstructing the daily life, beliefs, and culture of a community that thrived here more than 2 millennia ago. The discovery of this tomb is more than just an archaeological achievement. It is also a powerful reminder that beneath the streets of our modern cities, under the ground we walk on every day, countless untold stories, unnamed souls, and long-sleeping secrets still await discovery. One tomb, one individual, one civilization, all converge in a single moment of excavation, bringing us closer to the past, deepening our understanding of our origins, and reminding us to cherish the intangible values that quietly fade with time. 5,000-year-old Egyptian tomb reveals secrets of ancient musical art. If you think modern music, with its booming bass and pounding speakers, is what really excites people today, then you might be surprised to learn that the ancient Egyptians were already chilling to music 5,000 years ago, long before us. Newly uncovered evidence from an ancient tomb has left archaeologists scratching their heads and researchers exclaiming in amazement, "This discovery is truly unexpected." Deep beneath the scorching sands of Egypt, inside an ancient tomb, experts from the Egyptian Supreme Council of Antiquities unexpectedly uncovered what can only be described as a kind of pre-pharaonic music stage. On the faded tomb walls appeared unfamiliar yet fascinating images. Gracefully curved harps, elegant flutes, and even instruments resembling clarinets, a type of instrument one would normally expect to see only in a modern orchestra. Yes, it may sound strange, but it is true. Ancient Egyptians once played instruments that we often assume are modern inventions. Surprising, isn't it? And that's not all. What makes this discovery even more intriguing is that the ancient Egyptians did not simply hold instruments for decoration or amusement. The wall carvings depict musicians with focused expressions, professional postures, and the unmistakable presence of true artists. If you look closely, it almost feels as though they were preparing to perform at funerals, banquets, or important royal ceremonies. One can easily imagine a pharaoh nodding along to the rhythm. However, this is where scientists face their greatest challenge. No musical notation has been found. There are no notes, no scores, no tuning instructions, not even a defined musical scale. It is as if the tomb itself is saying, "The music is here, but how it was played is for you to figure out." As a result, researchers can only speculate about how music from 5,000 years ago might have sounded. Was it similar to orchestral music? Did it resemble folk melodies? Or could it have been humanity's very first ancient remix? Despite the lack of concrete evidence, archaeologists agree on one thing. Ancient Egyptian music was incredibly diverse. Imagine a world of pyramids, sphinxes, and the gentle flow of the Nile, where evenings were filled with the sounds of flutes, harps, and rhythmic percussion. This vision reveals that ancient people were far from rigid or overly solemn, as textbooks often portray them. They knew joy, appreciated beauty, and turned daily life into sound. Some experts even speculate that royal bands may have existed, groups of musicians dedicated to performing in religious rituals. Perhaps there were even music stars of the ancient world, only lacking social media to make them famous across the globe. Looking at these ancient images, one thing becomes clear. Music was not merely entertainment, it was a sacred element of Egyptian spiritual life. The Egyptians believed that sound could connect humans with the gods, heal the soul, and guide the deceased peacefully into the afterlife. And so, from a tomb that lay silent for 5,000 years, we are now able to hear the story of a once vibrant musical tradition long hidden by time. And who knows, somewhere beneath the vast desert sands, other tombs may still be waiting to reveal more hidden melodies. So take a moment to imagine, what kind of music did the ancient Egyptians love? Was it lively, mysterious, or so gentle that even the desert itself fell silent to listen? Only time and future excavations will tell. But one thing is certain, the ancient world left us far more than we ever imagined. We just need to dig a little deeper, and history will sing to us once again. "150 tombs beneath a zoo reveal thousands of years of history in Guangzhou, China." Few people would imagine that beneath a bustling zoo in Guangdong Province, China, there lies an entire ancient world, one where the living and the dead once coexisted across thousands of years of history. Yet this remarkable story is entirely true. The story began in 1956, when construction of the zoo first got underway. At the time, no one suspected that the very first strikes of a shovel would unintentionally open a completely new chapter in Chinese archaeology. After decades of surveys and research, archaeologists gradually realized that this area was anything but ordinary. Beneath what seemed like lifeless soil, hundreds of ancient tombs lay silently, as if waiting for the day their stories would finally be told. According to records, around 500 tombs have been documented in this area, providing an invaluable archive of historical and cultural information about Guangzhou in particular and China as a whole. Then, in early 2024, the Guangzhou Institute of Cultural Heritage and Archaeology officially launched a large-scale excavation. The results astonished researchers. 148 ancient tombs from multiple dynasties were uncovered, spanning the Han, Tang, Jin, Southern Song, and Ming dynasties. The mere fact that tombs from so many different dynasties coexist within a single burial area is enough to demonstrate that this location held exceptional importance throughout history. Each excavated tomb is like a doorway leading back into the past. From these sites, archaeologists recovered nearly 200 artifacts, ranging from finely crafted jade pieces to elaborately decorated ceramics. These discoveries clearly reveal how burial customs, religious beliefs, and perceptions of the afterlife evolved over time. Covering a total excavation area of approximately 1,300 square meters, or about 14,000 square feet, this project is not only scientifically significant, but also serves as a vivid reflection of the spiritual life and cultural traditions of the ancient inhabitants of the region. Among the tombs uncovered, the most remarkable is one dating back more than 1,700 years to the Eastern Jin dynasty. This tomb measures nearly 10 meters in length, or about 33 feet, and is notably large in scale. Most impressively, it has been preserved almost entirely intact. Although a small hole left by tomb robbers was discovered, the overall structure remains largely unchanged. Experts consider it the largest and best-preserved Eastern Jin tomb ever found in Guangzhou. Another tomb from the Southern Dynasty's period is also highly noteworthy. Despite having been disturbed in the past, it still contains numerous valuable artifacts, allowing researchers to partially reconstruct the burial rituals and social status of the individual interred there. According to Cheng Hao, a researcher at the Guangzhou Institute of Cultural Heritage and Archaeology, this discovery is of tremendous significance. Not only does it shed light on ancient burial customs and funeral practices in Guangzhou, but it also provides critical data for studying construction techniques and architectural methods during the Jin and Southern dynasties. From tomb layouts and building materials to construction techniques, every detail reflects the impressive technical skills of ancient builders. At present, researchers continue to analyze, compare, and interpret the remains beneath the ground, hoping to gain deeper insight into the social structure, belief systems, and daily life of ancient China across different dynasties. Notably, the Guangzhou Institute of Cultural Heritage and Archaeology has also developed public tour programs, giving visitors the opportunity to see and experience the value of this extraordinary heritage firsthand. So if you ever have the chance to visit Guangzhou, be sure to stop by. You may find yourself standing on ground beneath which an entire treasury of history lies quietly whispering stories from thousands of years ago. 1,000-year-old tomb of a Chinese couple. During the construction of the Ningxiang-Shaoshan Highway in Hunan Province, China, archaeologists discovered a 1,000-year-old tomb belonging to a couple who lived during the Northern Song dynasty. What makes this discovery remarkable is not only that the two bodies were buried in two brick sarcophagi placed side by side in a dignified manner, but also the presence of an unusual structure within the tomb. A mysterious window, unlike anything archaeologists had seen before. Researchers from the Hunan Provincial Institute of Cultural Relics and Archaeology analyzed the tomb and proposed a romantic hypothesis about this structure, calling it a fairy bridge, a symbolic link allowing the couple to continue their profound love without separation, even in the afterlife. This is an extraordinarily rare find, as burying a couple together with a fairy bridge demonstrates the deep concept of eternal love and bonding in the mindset of people from that era. The discovery extends beyond the burial itself. It provides a unique perspective on how the Northern Song people viewed life after death. The construction of a fairy bridge within the tomb, symbolically connecting two souls, reflects the belief that death is not the ultimate separation, but rather a doorway to another world where love continues to exist and flourish. This timeless love story invites reflection on human attachment that transcends life and death. In addition to the couple's remains, archaeologists uncovered numerous grave goods, primarily ceramic items. These artifacts are considered both exquisite and abundant, indicating that the couple likely belonged to a well-off family. The presence of multiple grave goods also suggests they were treated with great honor after death, reflecting the burial traditions and spiritual beliefs of the Northern Song period, in which objects were not only material possessions but also held spiritual significance to help the soul rest and prepare for the next life. Experts carefully cleaned the soil from the artifacts and remains before transferring them to a museum for further study and exhibition, ensuring the historical and cultural value of the tomb is preserved. This discovery is not only an archaeological milestone, but also an emotional journey, a story full of love and spiritual belief from a millennium ago. It provides insight into the lives of the ancients and the profound values they cherished and passed down through generations. The 1,000-year-old tomb in Hunan stands as a vivid testament to the connection between past and present, between material life and the spiritual world, while inspiring curiosity and appreciation for the untold stories of human history. Who knows? Perhaps these very fairy bridges helped guide the spirits of the departed so they would never lose their way. And perhaps true love never ends, no matter how much time passes. 1,700-year-old rich family tomb reveals hidden treasure. Buried deep beneath seemingly quiet soil near Shenzhuang village, China, experts from the Luoyang Institute of Archaeology were astonished to uncover 3 ancient tombs, believed to belong to an exceptionally wealthy family that lived more than 1,700 years ago. This discovery revealed not just old bricks or broken pottery, but a whole luxurious world of the past gradually emerging, as if time itself had gently opened a secret door. The 3 tombs were labeled M1, M2, and M3, and research determined that they date from the mid to late Western Jin dynasty, possibly even earlier during the Chao Wei period. Simply establishing this timeline highlights the historical significance of the find. What impressed researchers the most, however, was the construction, arrangement, and meticulous detail of these tombs. Among them, M1 stood out as the heart of the tomb complex. It is the largest, most intricate tomb, with a scale and complexity far surpassing the others. From the rammed earth entrance and carefully sealed brick door, to the long corridor, sturdy stone gates, and square main chamber, every detail indicated that this was no ordinary resting place. Along the corridor were side pits, likely intended for grave goods, reflecting the belief that the afterlife required the same comforts as life itself. When archaeologists ventured further into M1, the treasure trove was finally revealed. Over 200 artifacts were discovered, including ceramics, lacquerware, and rare materials such as ivory. Among these, a particularly remarkable find was a pair of bone earrings intricately carved with phoenixes and birds. This is extremely rare, as jade and pottery were the common materials for jewelry at that time. Even this small detail underscores the unique aesthetic sense and high social status of the tomb's owner. The other two tombs, M2 and M3, though smaller and simpler than M1, were still impressive. They were built in a similar style, facing south, and contained many valuable artifacts. The consistency in construction and grave goods strongly suggest that these tombs belonged to members of the same family, buried according to a clear social hierarchy, reflecting the class system of the period. Artifacts from all three tombs, including bronze, iron, gold, jade, and lacquerware, helped researchers reconstruct burial customs and the luxurious lifestyle of the elite during the Western Jin dynasty. Beyond material wealth, the discovery offers insight into how the ancient people perceived power, status, and life after death. This find in Mangxin District, Henan Province, is more than a simple archaeological excavation. It serves as a reminder that beneath every patch of earth we walk on, there may be a historical story waiting to be told. 3,500-year-old strange tombs with unusual burial positions discovered along the Nile River. Along the legendary Nile River, which once nurtured one of humanity's most magnificent civilizations, Egyptian archaeologists have unveiled a discovery that has left both researchers and adventure enthusiasts shivering with curiosity. This is the discovery of a series of ancient tombs with bizarre burial positions. Skeletons not lying straight as we usually see, but curled up, knees drawn in, as if embracing a secret that has remained hidden for over 3,500 years beneath layers of sand and time. According to the Egyptian Ministry of Antiquities, the excavation took place at Qom al-Kolgan, a site along the Nile about 87 miles from Cairo. Here, experts discovered 20 ancient burial grounds dating back to the second pre-dynastic period, approximately 1782 to 1570 BCE. This alone highlights the immense value of the find, as this was the formative period of Egyptian civilization, filled with numerous rituals and beliefs that remain largely undeciphered. What makes these tombs particularly remarkable is not just their age, but also what was found inside. According to Mostafa Waziri, Secretary General of the Supreme Council of Antiquities, the skeletons were never alone. Alongside the deceased were animal remains, stone tools, finely decorated pottery, and especially rare black pottery, uncommon in other tombs of the same period. These artifacts suggest that the dead were not merely buried, but also prepared for some journey after death. The most striking and curious aspect is the burial posture. Most skeletons were placed in very unusual positions, bodies curled up as if squatting, then leaning to one side. Arms were bent across the chest, heads bowed toward the hands, creating an image that is both strange and highly ritualistic. Many tombs also featured stone circles surrounding the body, with carefully placed artifacts inside, forming a sacred space reserved for the deceased. However, this ancient burial style has affected the preservation of the skeletons. Over thousands of years, environmental erosion has damaged many bones, posing challenges for researchers. Despite this, archaeologists believe that what has been uncovered so far is just the tip of the iceberg. Beneath the sands along the Nile, there may still lie many untold stories about the beliefs, daily lives, and perspectives of ancient Egyptians on life and death. Currently, excavation work is ongoing at a fast pace. Experts hope that, as these tombs are studied in more detail, they will shed light on a little-known period of history, revealing how ancient people entrusted their faith, fears, and aspirations to these mysterious burial rituals. Over 2,500-year-old sealed coffins discovered in Egypt. In the arid deserts of Egypt, a land that has witnessed the rise and fall of countless ancient dynasties, Saqqara Cemetery has once again captured the world's attention. Recently, archaeologists unearthed 80 ancient coffins, all over 2,500 years old, remarkably still sealed. Just hearing this is enough to send chills down the spine, as these coffins have remained virtually untouched by human hands for millennia. What makes this discovery extraordinary is not only the number of coffins, but also their incredible state of preservation. Many coffins retain vivid paint, with intricate decorative patterns appearing almost as if freshly completed. The illustrations, hieroglyphs, and motifs on the coffin lids narrate stories of ancient Egyptian beliefs, religion, and views of the afterlife. In this sense, each coffin resembles an unopened history book, waiting to be decoded. Due to overwhelming public interest, experts decided to open some of the coffins on site, in front of reporters. The moment the lids were lifted was more than a scientific procedure. It felt like a meeting between the present and the past. Inside were carefully wrapped mummies, reflecting elaborate funerary rituals and a profound belief in life after death. This step marks an important milestone in understanding the culture, religion, and spiritual life of ancient Egyptians. The excavation has also revealed further surprises. Archaeologists uncovered numerous gold-gilded wooden statues, exquisitely crafted. These statues were not merely burial items, but carried deep religious significance, symbolizing the connection between humans and their gods. The meticulous craftsmanship highlights the artistic skill and technical mastery of Egyptians from thousands of years ago. The significance of this discovery was underscored by the visit of Egyptian Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli and Minister of Tourism and Antiquities Khalid El-Anani, who personally inspected the excavation site. Their presence emphasizes that Egypt regards this as more than a typical archaeological find. It is a cultural heritage treasure, shedding further light on the country's glorious history. Notably, about 2 weeks earlier at Saqqara, archaeologists had announced the discovery of 59 other intact coffins, also unopened. The consecutive unearthing of these sealed mummies presents an enormous task for specialists, as each mummy must be carefully cataloged and examined to determine gender, jibimish, social status, and even aspects of their life when alive. Every small detail could provide critical insights into ancient Egyptian society. Saqqara has long been considered one of Egypt's most important archaeological sites. It is renowned not only for its groundbreaking discoveries, but also for its massive architectural complexes connected to the pyramids at Giza, Abu Sir, Dashur, and Abu Ruwaish. At Saqqara alone, there are at least 11 pyramids and hundreds of tombs of officials, spanning from the First Dynasty to the Coptic period. Each layer of sand uncovered at Saqqara reveals clearer glimpses into ancient Egyptian history. With these 80 still-sealed coffins, humanity may soon hear untold stories whispered across more than 2,500 years, preserved beneath the desert sands. Ancient Chinese tomb reveals massive treasure. One ordinary morning in the 1960s in Guangzhou town, Anji County, Zhejiang Province, China, where towering Rocky Mountains dominate the skyline, a Chinese military unit was conducting a task to blast rock for bridge construction. But no one could have anticipated that every explosion from those charges would not only tear through the cliffs, but also strike a piece of history buried for centuries. Beneath the layers of rock lay an ancient tomb, silently waiting for the fateful moment to reveal itself. The blast not only shattered the mountainside, but also sent gold, silver, precious gems, and priceless antiques flying in all directions, creating a scene so overwhelming that those witnessing it would never forget. Local villagers flocked to the site, initially out of curiosity, then excitement. They picked up fragments of gold, gemstones, and glittering artifacts, once carefully placed in the sacred resting place of a historical figure. However, the discovery was quickly reported to local authorities, and shortly thereafter, the Cultural Heritage Bureau coordinated with relevant agencies. They called on residents to voluntarily return any artifacts they had collected, and fortunately, most complied. As a result, authorities recovered 5 gold treasures, 23 silver artifacts, 5 jade pieces, along with numerous agate and amber items, and even 3 intricately crafted folding fans. The investigation didn't stop there. Archaeologists rushed to the site to survey the newly uncovered tomb and quickly realized it was no ordinary burial. After examining and cataloging the artifacts, they identified the tomb's occupant as Wu Lin, a high-ranking official of the Ming dynasty who once served as supervisor of Shandong province. What surprised many was that Wu Lin was known for his integrity and modest lifestyle, avoiding luxury. A model scholar and upright official, he retired in 1547 to return to his hometown and live a quiet life, far from the political power struggles. So how could a man of such simplicity have a tomb filled with so much gold and treasure? Experts believe the answer lies in the love and devotion of his family. According to archaeologists, the wealth was likely placed there by Wu Lin's 4 sons, all accomplished and filial. Upon their father's passing, they used their financial resources to fill the tomb with the family's most precious treasures, honoring him in his journey to the afterlife, a final gesture of gratitude to a model father. This treasure, valued at approximately 200 million yuan, is not merely a collection of material wealth, but also a vivid testament to an era, a great personality, and a moving tradition of filial devotion. If one says that this story, of a tomb accidentally revealed after a rock-blasting operation, not only holds archaeological value, but also serves as a powerful reminder of respect for the past, of remembering those who came before us, and of how family love can transcend the boundary between life and death, it would not be an exaggeration at all. 6,000-year-old Chinese tomb contains dragon skeleton, astonishing experts. In the ancient land of Bokyang, Henan Province, China, once the cradle of a magnificent civilization thousands of years ago, archaeologists have made a discovery that has stunned both researchers and the public alike. While excavating an ancient tomb estimated to be 6,000 years old, archaeologists unexpectedly uncovered a mystery far beyond anything science had previously known. A skeleton of a creature with a bizarre shape resembling the legendary dragon. There were no human remains, no gold or treasures. The only occupant of the cold, buried tomb was a creature that seemed to exist only in mythology, sparking unprecedented waves of debate and speculation. In Chinese culture, dragons are considered sacred symbols representing favorable weather, bountiful harvests, and the ultimate emblem of imperial power, the true dragon of the Son of Heaven. Ancient Chinese people did not worship dragons as mere mythical beasts. They believed dragons were real creatures that once existed and played an important role in history. Therefore, the discovery of a skeleton suspected to be a dragon in a Yangshao period tomb, the early civilization of the Huaxia people, has raised countless unanswered questions. According to archaeologists, the skeleton was positioned with its head facing northeast and its body in a highly unusual posture, front legs tightly bent, hind legs raised, and the tail curving gracefully like a wave. Surrounding the skeleton were walls engraved with intricate carvings, reflecting solemnity and reverence, as if this creature was not merely an animal, but a sacred spirit buried with the utmost respect. Yet the biggest puzzle for scientists is that there is no indication of who the tomb's owner was. Some hypotheses suggest that only extraordinary figures of legendary power, such as Zhuan Shu, Fuxi, or even Si Yu, mythical kings and heroes, could have defeated a dragon. In this case, the skeleton might represent a monumental achievement of such a figure. But was this truly the skeleton of a dragon? Or was it a symbolic burial ritual meant to convey the authority of a legendary leader? And if dragons once existed, could this ancient civilization have hidden a lost chapter of history, where humans coexisted with creatures we today call mythical? Although many hypotheses have been proposed, the identity of the tomb's owner remains unknown, while the dragon skeleton continues to lie there, challenging the limits of human knowledge. This excavation is not just an archaeological discovery. It opens a new chapter linking legend and reality, belief and historical truth. Perhaps the answer to the mystery of the dragon, a sacred creature of the East, will continue to fascinate generations of explorers to come. So what about you? Do you believe dragons were real creatures? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for the latest videos. Until then, farewell, and see you next time.